What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk here, back again with another video. Today we're going to be talking about a report, kind of a follow-up on my last video about John Tavares. This is kind of crazy news a little bit, to be honest with you. So stay tuned for this video. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. We talk hockey, we talk rumors, we talk trade rumors and signings and everything in between as we inch closer to the NHL trade deadline. Now, I got to talk about David Pagnotta of the fourth period, and it could be Pagnotta. I always go back and forth of what his name is supposed to be, and I do apologize. I think it's David Pagnotta, but he's from the fourthperiod.com, so be sure to go and check out his stuff. He does have sources. He's broken stuff before. I actually believe he might have been the first one to break the John Tavares signing when he first signed in Toronto. But yeah, there's been some reports about Johnny T's next contract. And if you see here on this article, he's talking about the fact that Tavares, like Marner, needs a new contract. And there's been chatter of a 3-year extension in place that requires some fine-tuning, but nobody will confirm. His AAV will drop likely in the $7 million range. Now, again, I'm going to remind people, the Maple Leafs will have $31 million in cap space next season. They have plenty of room to get Marner, Tavares, and Matthew Knies locked up if they want. But, you know, this is a significant amount of cap space. But the big point here is Johnny T already locked up? And I know some people are probably going to be looking at this and going, oh my God, $7 million for, next season, a 35-year-old Johnny T, a John Tavares. But he's aged pretty well. And I know, again, people are not going to like that, but he's going to drop from $11 million to $7 million. And with the cap going up means that player contracts and their percentages will go up. I personally thought Tavares was going to get in the $6 million range, and maybe he still will. But if the salary cap's going up and contract percentages are going to go up, you're going to see inflation. Now, again, I just did mention his age, but I want to keep reminding you guys, since coming to Toronto, and again, the Leafs overpaid to get him into Toronto, and I fully acknowledge that. That's what the Leafs thought was the best thing to do at the time. But he has put up numbers ever since he's come here. He scored a ton of goals. 2022-23 season, he had 36. Look at his first year in Toronto with 47. Last year, he had a near 30-goal campaign. And this year, he's on pace again he's probably going to touch the 30-goal mark, if not come very close once again. And if the Maple Leafs want to continue to have that window of opportunity of winning open, they need to continue to score. And right now, they're not scoring a ton. So unless the Leafs have a plan to go out there and replace John Tavares' goal totals for a smaller number, then sure, let him walk. But the Maple Leafs need to score, and they're having a lot of trouble scoring. And Johnny T scores. And look at all the people right now that are saying that Team Canada should have had Tavares on the team right now. It's not even just Leaf fans. Team Canada could use a bit of John Tavares right now, going in there, grinding, digging out pucks, winning battles in the corner, being a force out front of the net, deflecting pucks. They don't have that right now. So it just goes to show that he's still a valuable player. And if it's a 3-year deal at $7 million, it's a little more money than I would have liked them to sign him for. But again, it's hopeful to know that the Maple Leafs are going out there and saying, look, we still want to be competitive. We need to keep this window open. So John Tavares is more than likely sticking around. And I wanted to show the overview and cap projections for this team. So like I said, going into this offseason, they'll have $31 million in cap space, which is quite good, because the NHL salary cap is supposed to be $95 million, 95.5, which is really, really good. Now, if we look at who they need to sign, the two big ones are Tavares and Marner. So Tavares will be taking a cut from $11 million to likely $7 million. Mitch Marner will more than likely be getting a raise. I don't know if it's going to be in Toronto. But besides that, the Leafs are not going to be signing Connor Dewar, because I'm guessing Fraser Minton is probably going to be his replacement at a cheaper number. Matthew Knies, they're definitely going to get signed. He's going to get a big raise, but they will have the money to do that. Nick Robertson, that's kind of up in the air. but because it's an arbitration eligible player, he won't be getting a massive increase in pay. And they have Max Pacioretty, who is not going to be a Leaf next year. Pontus Holmberg, who will likely be with the Marlies next season. If not, he will be gone from the Leafs. And I would actually like the Leafs to hold on to Steven Lorentz. He'll probably get a little bit of a raise. But then the blue line, Yanni Hakanpää is not going to be around, and I don't think Connor Timmins will likely be around. If he is, it'll be, again, probably a similar number that he's at right now. And then the Leafs goaltending is already locked up. So in terms of who they have to sign internally, the Maple Leafs don't actually have a ton of money that they have to give out to players besides guys like Marner, Tavares, and Nyes. And I know that's like, oh my God, that's a ton of money, but it's not $31 million. And that's without the Maple Leafs making a trade, because I could see them trading off a guy like David Kampf and, potentially even depending on what happens, they could be putting some of these guys like a Calle Jarnkrok on a permanent LTIR. If he's not healthy, this guy might not ever play for the Maple Leafs again, which would open up more money for them as well. I would also consider burying Ryan Reeves' contract with the Marlies, which would free up another $1.1 million. So if you do look at it, the Maple Leafs have money for next season. And if the Leafs can get Tavares under 7, that would be more ideal. And I think that would fit the team structure a little bit more. But I'm not going to be upset with them re-signing him at that number. Like I said, you're going to eliminate more money with potentially Calle Jarnkrok, depending on what they do with him. Even though when he's healthy, fantastic depth player. David Kampf, they got to find a way to get rid of that $2.4 million, which would help quite a lot. And then you never know with guys like Pacioretty, Holmberg, Steven Lorentz, all these guys that were taking up money. The Leafs could have cheaper options coming up from the Marlies. Easton Cowan is probably going to get a look on the NHL roster next year as well. So they have cheaper options that they can replace with some of these more expensive options and be able to go out there and re-sign Tavares and Marner and Nyes. They could re-sign all three of them if they want to, but I still am unsure about where the Leafs are in regards to re-signing Mitch Marner. So I kind of want to know what you guys think about it. Again, I already know a lot of the comments are going to be negative. I think Leaf fans want the Leafs to go out there and make a different move and go after different players, which I don't blame you. I really don't. I just think that if the Leafs still want to continue to be competitive, you can't remove all the talent from your team at once and then just recoup it all. That's not how it works. They'll have to overpay for free agents, because if you remove Tavares and Marner from your lineup, when you approach a new free agent, their agent is going to be like, well, we can see you just lost a ton of talent. So in order to get my player to your team, we want a lot of money, because we already know how tough the media is in Toronto. And, you guys are trying to get over the hump. We want that extra bit of money to show that, you're willing to pay for a star. And that's where it could get complicated. And if you keep a hold of your talent and say, look, we're still competitive, we're going to win, we could use you, these players might be more willing to come, okay? And that's just how it is. Players want to play with good players. We see it in every league. We see it in the NBA. We see it in the NFL. We see it everywhere. Doesn't matter. Teams are creating super teams. The MLB, the Dodgers, are you kidding me? They want to play with good players. And the Maple Leafs need to hold on to their talent, but at what cost? And that's what I'm asking you guys. What would you sign Johnny T to? The term is fine. 3 years, no problem. It'll take him until he's like 37, 38 years old. By that time, he might retire and then just be a part of the Maple Leafs front office. So we'll have to see what happens. If you're new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Thank you so much for watching another video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.